So it's been a while. Look, I'm going to put my hands up. I'm sorry. It's been over 3 weeks, I think. It's been a while. Basically, I've just been enjoying life. Well, I was finishing my final set assessments, and then I just kind of was busy, and I've been spending a lot of time away from my flat, so I've not really had the time to edit, and I'm not really taking my laptop with me where I've been going, so yeah, not really had that much time to do stuff. I've only got like 2 more weeks here at uni before I go home, and I guess when I go home, I'm probably going to get a job, but I'll have more time, in one place at one time with my laptop where I can edit a lot. So I guess I'll be a bit more consistent. And I don't know. I do know what videos I'm kind of going to do. And I'm going to try and get some out very quickly, just to kind of make up for the loss of, a consistent schedule. But today, I'm going to talk about something very exciting, as Time Factor ended last weekend, and I managed to finally go to a show. I managed to finally go to Time Factor. So today, I'm going to talk about my experience. So, obviously, those who've heard of Time Fracture and those who haven't, look, Time Fracture started, I think, last April, so April 2021, and I actually booked a showing for June 25th because I thought I'd be back for about a week. At that point, I would have been back from uni for about a week, and I knew who I was taking. I couldn't find anyone to take for ages. That's why it took me so long to go, and I left it very late. I was always leaving it late, but I always knew when I was going to book one at the last minute. I always knew that was probably what was going to happen. And we know someone who had a little girl who wanted to go but needed someone to take her, and her parents didn't really want to take her. And I thought, I'm old enough, I can do this as a guardian, but also I'm going to be probably as obsessed as this kid is. But anyway, I basically took her with me, and we went to London. We went to Bond Street. It was, oh my god, and it was amazing. It was so cool. I don't know, it's so weird to say. I mean, just over 10 years ago, I went to the Doctor M1ck experience when it was in London, before, the Cardiff one opened up. And when I was there in London for that was amazing. And that wasn't even anything like Time Fracture. That was like a recorded version of Matt Smith was talking to you, and you saw, I think, a Dalek and Weeping Angels, but it was nothing like this. No, not paid actors to the same extent. This was insane. The thing that annoys me the most, there's only one thing that annoys me about it, is the fact that your experience can be very different depending on what choices you make and who you follow and what you do and what rooms you go into. And as a result, I'm looking back going, I can never go again. I can't go again. It's shut. It's closed off. Because if there was a lot more time left, I'd go again and again and again and again. So I know, because I never saw Davros. I didn't really see much of the sidemen. I didn't bump into William Shakespeare. I didn't really spend too much time with Queen Elizabeth. And I didn't talk to the pig guy at the start really either. And I talked a little bit with Brian the Ood, but didn't talk enough with Brian the Ood. He was pretty cool. We bumped into him in Torchwood, and he was pretty chill. But he needed to go to Da Vinci, and I don't know why, because we'd just been there. Anyway, that obviously sounds insane to people, but let me just sum it up. So we ended up queuing for a little bit. Our name was on the list. We ended up going in. First of all, you're met with a guy who works for Unit, and he will just say, look, this is Time Factor. He'll explain what happened. A bomb went off in 1942. However, it was not like any other bomb, as it was a temporal disruptor. So it was like some sort of time bomb, and it went off, and it caused the Time Fracture. And yeah, it's causing all sorts of chaos and stuff. And we had to go over and look through some offices. There was Osgood's office, and there was 2 others. I looked through some notes, and there was some stick-up notes on the desk. One said ring Malcolm or something, which is obviously not the Planet of the Dead. One said don't blink, and I thought, that's definitely a hint. One just said get out, which which was funny. And slowly but surely, the time we had left kept going down. So they said so this may lead to the end of the universe one day, and then it was 5 hours, and then they said we've got 90 minutes to save the universe. And yeah, we did end up with 90 minutes to save the universe. I don't know how long we stayed in, but maybe that long. I don't know. I have no idea how long I was in there. But yeah, we had to look through some desks, and eventually another member of UNIT comes over, another scientist, and we are let through into like the main room. We are seen with the PSGs, which are portal stabilizing gateways, I believe. There's 2 of them, which both are holding the time fracture in place. There's tons of screens around us, and you know, it was very interactive. I loved the actors. They were really, really amazing. They really made it that more fun at the beginning. I mean, all the actors are amazing in it, but the ones with UNIT, you know, because at the beginning it is just them talking to us. There's nothing to look at really. There's not too much to do. It's just a ton of screens around us, and you know, with like made up kind of stats and whatnot and readings, and they are the energy that we got off them. One specific one, I think his character was called Dr. Leeson, and I think he replied to one of my tweets after the performance, and he's done completely. He was fantastic, and he was really good with the little girl I went with. She was, you know, she was like really interactive, really answering all the questions and stuff, and he was really cool. All the people in who were the UNIT staff were awesome. I thought they were fab. Really, like, just such mad energy. Such great energy. That was amazing. And yeah, eventually a Dalek comes in, and also on all the screens you slowly get like news feeding in, and then you eventually get a BBC breaking news thing, like BBC breaking news, Daleks have invaded, Simon invaded. You see like the Taj Mahal is flying, you see like the Eiffel Tower's gone wibbly wobbly, like all this stuff. It's amazing. But a Dalek breaks in. I saw a Dalek, and then it turns out the Doctor saves us as we are actually in a room which is kind of like a TARDIS, as the console drops down, and then you are on the screen pops up David Bradley is the first Doctor, and Jodie Whittaker both kind of talking, but they're both having the same conversation with us. They keep switching between them, and that was really cool. We then go down through the time fracture, and this is where I believe I made a mistake. I had the choice of going left or right. I went right, and that's because everyone went right. And if you go right, you end up in the junkyard, which is where there's the Kablam Man, the Sister of the Khan, Pig Guy, who I didn't really talk to, and there was like a store where you could buy stuff, and I didn't know what it was, and I've just found out what it was. It was the pharmacy from Gridlock. It was Happy Happy, you know, that kind of stuff. And if I went left, I think I'd have met Davros. And why didn't I go left? Why did I not go left? I'm such an idiot. I wish I got left and just bumped into Davros and went, oh, you alright? But, you know, mistakes were made. Still going on with where I went and what I did. So I went right, and there wasn't many interactive people. The Pig Guy was asleep, so I couldn't really talk to him. So I just kind of walked on, and I was looking around, not much happening. You know, the Kablam section's quiet, and we were kind of one of the first people in the room. Eventually, this manic guy who's wearing something that not too dissimilar to what Ruth's wear runs right past us, and he just goes, oh, hi, oh, nice, and I was wearing a Doctor Who scarf, and he went, oh, nice scarf, where'd you get it from? And I was just like, oh, don't know really. He went, don't know, oh, cool, and then he just ran past us, and eventually he got a group, and including us. He went, oh, right, hi, I'm a Time Lord, I've just regenerated, but I don't remember who I am, and I was like, okay. Instantly I thought, you're the Doctor. He was wearing very doctorish get-up, and he was very manic energy, but you know, I think he captured just regenerated very well. He ended up, you know, asking us to show his reflection. I was the one who told him, look, there's a mirror right there, mate. And he looked, people asked him what he looked like. One guy in our group said he didn't look that good, and he wasn't approving of the facial hair, and I thought, mate, that's got nothing to do with his costume. You're just having to go at the actor at this point. But he was really good. We picked his name for him. His name ended up being Connor. No one called him Connor. No one called him anything. I really wanted to just call him the Doctor, but I didn't. We ended up going to the Sister of Khan, which showed us a prophecy. I couldn't see the prophecy because of the angle I was in the tent, but it's supposed to be like the ghosts of like Time Lords or something, or the ghosts of Gallifrey or something, which is where you end up at the end. Won't get into that, but the Sister of Khan helped us. One thing I will say, our Doctor made a really nice joke, which I felt like I was the only person who laughed at. When we were with the Sister of Khan, she went, oh, you're all humans in our group. He put his hand up and then went, yeah, sorry, I'm not human, only on my mother's side. And I thought, oh, TV movie joke. I just chuckled instantly when half human, funny. No one else really laughed at that. Maybe it's because they can't take a joke about canon, but I thought that was really funny. We ended up ignoring the gridlock girl and going straight into what was Elizabethan England. Well, Queen Elizabeth was getting married. Don't know who to. We ignored that entirely. And we went straight to Da Vinci. We went straight to Leonardo da Vinci, which was weird. But yeah, we went straight to Leonardo da Vinci, and we knew some things about him. We knew that basically he designed part of the temporal disruptor from the Sister of Khan, and we also knew we needed to talk to Captain Stephen Davis of Torchwood 3 from the Victorian era. So we bumped into Da Vinci first. The actor for Da Vinci was great, really liked him, noticed all the markings on the wall for like silence and stuff, and I loved turning around in his room, in his kind of, in his section, and seeing all of the, like there was a Mona Lisa being ready to be made, nearly made, and tons of canvases which said this is fake on them, and I thought, as a lover of City of Death, that was pretty cool to see. We left there, we bumped into Captain Stephen Davis in the middle of like Elizabeth's wedding, and we had to go follow him to Torchwood, which was pretty cool. In Torchwood, it was really cool because there was a time fracture split in the middle of it, so one small section of the room was Victorian Torchwood, another section was supposed to be 2022 Torchwood, but it kind of felt more like 2008 Torchwood, because I believe that, you know, what happens in Children of Earth meant that original Torchwood building gets blown up, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like it did in the series, which is still pretty cool. You've got the Doctor's hand still there. You've got photos of Gwen and Reese, and Owen didn't notice any other photos, but one thing I did notice on that wall was a post-it note, which was a reference to the alien sex gas episode, and it just said women's toilets. So I just thought, that's funny. I couldn't mention it to a little girl I was with, because obviously she can't watch Torchwood, she's not old enough, and you know, she doesn't know about that kind of stuff, so I couldn't really say anything. Also, the pizza place. There's a pizza from the pizza place in that room, which was really cool. And there was a kablam box, which I think may have been brought there by someone else. Eventually, Brian the Ood walks in with his group, and he was lovely. He was very polite, and he was very helpful. We helped him quite a lot, because we told him where Da Vinci was, and then he gave Captain Stephen Davis a kiss, who was then beaten up by the Gallifreyan time agent Zariah, who walked in. This makes no sense. We left, we went back to Da Vinci, helped him out a little bit more, and then the Cybermen came. That was pretty cool. Didn't really see them much of them. We saw one Cyberman. I saw one Cyberman kill, I think, what was supposed to be a doctor, and then we just kind of ran out. When I ran out, I ended up going to... Where did I go? When we left there, we ended up going to this kind of space cruiser, which is basically the interval. There's a woman doing a performance. She's like singing a lot. She was really good, actually. Fantastic. Really good at audience interaction. But there's a bar, there's toilets, you can kind of stop off. What was really nice is our doctor stuck around a little bit. He kind of walked around. He walked to us and said, "You guys okay? We're going to be busy in a minute." And I was like, that's cool. That's really nice. And basically there was different doctors running about, you know, because it depends on which doctor you were with. We were with a certain doctor, and while we were waiting around in the interval, I could see some people were leaving, going on to the next moment, and we weren't being picked to go. That's because our doctor wasn't doing it. It was another doctor doing it, and eventually our doctor went, "Okay, you two, come with me." We were in that group, and we go through the we open the door to leave the spaceship, and what do we see? We're in there's like some sort of Saw-esque toilets, and Brian the Ood is just dead in the corner, and it was so sad because I talked to him a little bit, and he was very, very nice, very cool, and I wanted to talk to him more. He was very, very nice character. I wish I was with him more, but he's just dead there, and I kind of knew what was next. Purely because of the vibe I was getting, as while we're in there, one of the other doctors who had been taking people through there opens the door and comes back into the room via the other direction, and our doctor goes, "Oh, weren't you with a group?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was," and then leaves. So clearly suggests they've just been, snatched or killed, and I'm like, okay, I have a feeling this is the Weeping Angels. Our doctor takes us through, but before he does that, he goes, right, who is the most... he looks at me and he goes, Isaac, I think you're the most brave in our group, so I'm going to put you at the back while I'm at the front. So basically we're on either side, I'm going to have to guard the back of the group. He also gives me a little bit of a fright when we are in our first corridor. He goes, what's over there? And I like jump because I know Weeping Angels coming up, and I turn around, there's nothing there, but I'm pretty sure that's where the Weeping Angels come from. We then open the door. That door has H.P. Wilson, CEO, on it, which is the chief electrician from Rose, obviously, who's dead. Wilson's dead. We go through that door and we are in Rose. There is the shop window dummies everywhere, and I thought for a second maybe it's not Weeping Angels, maybe it's Autons, but no, it is Weeping Angels. As the lights flicker and we look at the wall says don't blink, and there's a Weeping Angel on either side. So I turn my back on the front of the group. I'm facing with the group behind me, and I'm looking at my Weeping Angel. And every time the lights flicker, it gets closer. And the thing that's amazing is it felt so real. It felt so real because I couldn't hear them walking or running or whatever, how fast they got to me. And they froze pretty still when the lights came back on. So, they kept it very, very real. And I was terrified. I went with this 10-year-old girl and she was not scared. She wasn't scared. I was shaking. And especially because I was the closest to it, it went for me. Basically, it kept getting closer. And then with its final move, it was looking away like that. And then the lights flashed and then it went right at me. It's staring right at me. And I was just... terrified. I'm in there, I forget I'm in a performance. I feel like I'm going to die. And then the doctor says, right, I'm going to hold them off. I'm looking at all of them. Run. And then I turn around and finally see how many Weeping Angels there are. There's another 4, and I look at all of them terrified, oh my god. Leave the room. And then I turn around and go, where's our doctor? And the door's locked. He's just gone. I'm just kind of go, okay, guess he's not following us. And while I'm doing it, I realise I'm walking up a staircase, and that staircase just happens to be part of the Castle from Heaven Sent, as you've got how many seconds there are there in eternity on the wall, and the photo of Clara. We then end up in the under gallery from the 50th, and a different doctor comes out of the Gallifrey Falls No More painting, and he just goes, yeah, sorry, the Weeping Angels got me, I regenerated, and walks on, and you're like, what? So it's just insane. We then go through another door, and we are in the Panopticon on Gallifrey. But before we do that, we walk through a little bit of it, and it is very clearly the same design of the room, where the pre-Hartnell Doctor, the kind of black boy version from Time as Children, is having the discussion about the division, because there's 3 chairs set up. It's the same room. And then we go into the Panopticon, where there are 4 High Council members, 2 blokes, I don't remember the names. One's very, very, very pro Rassilon, he was dressed in green. One was in purpley, very, very against Rassilon. One was in gold, she was a woman, and she was very pro Rassilon. We were on a Rassilon side. All the ones who were on our side of the room were very much telling us to be pro Rassilon. And I was there telling this 10-year-old girl, going, no, we're not pro Rassilon. That's wrong. The Time Lords are evil. The Time Lords are bad. And then there's also another one, and she was blonde, and she was in red, a red kind of Time Lord get-up, and I felt like I knew who they were until they addressed the character's name, and it was Romana. I was very excited, just going, ooh, Romana's here. And they were basically trying to resurrect Rassilon, and that is the whole point of the Time Fracture. That was the whole point of what the Time Fracture is doing. They resurrect Rassilon, and then Rassilon is destroyed. A Dalek and Davros invades Gallifrey. A Dalek comes into the room, kills members of the High Council, and then the Doctors save us. The Doctors come in, you hear all of the Doctors talking to you. Some of them are impressions, but I don't know why. The one which pleased me the most was Colin Baker, which I don't know what that says about me, but it was really cool hearing his voice. Tom as well, but that was pretty cool. But you hear the TARDIS come in, and then they say that we've got the Dalek. We were shown before that we have the Dalek time controller, and we can use that to escape. And we use that to escape and bring us back home. We are back home, and yeah, we get a nice little thank you message from Jodie, which was pretty nice. But we're back, and it's so cool. Before I left, I also saw my second Doctor talk to me, and he was like, "Oh, well done, you were great, thank you." And I was like, and he said, "Great scarf," and they all commented on my scarf, which was really good as well. While we were on our way back, on our way to Gallifrey, I was actually wearing the same shirt I am now, which is Gallifrey, and it also has it's not quite clear, but coordinates on it. And my doctor, kind of, when we first were saying we need to go to Gallifrey, he went, "Wait, we're on our way to Gallifrey. We need to, well, why haven't you told us sooner? You've got it on your shirt." And I just kind of found that amazing. I really loved that interaction from him. And then when we were in the interval, he took over the mic and read out the coordinates on my shirt. I don't know if that was scripted or he'd read them off my shirt. Either A, this shirt has the correct, I feel it probably does, but I loved that little moment. That was really cool. But I really liked our first Doctor, and it's sad that he got caught. Like most interactive, gamey kind of versions of Doctor Who, The Weeping Angels was the best and worst part of it for me, purely because it was amazing, but also because Weeping Angels in a realistic setting are terrifying because they're weeping angels, and I did, really, really cut the bed with that moment. Seeing Daleks in the flesh, oh my god, I wasn't scared. I just wanted to give them a hug. I think the Daleks are awesome. They're just cool and they're cute. Sidemen, a little bit creepy. I saw that one out of my corner and it wasn't looking at me. If it turned to look at me, oh my god, my skin would have crawled. So I just kept going. Really awesome, and I loved doing it all. So yeah, that was my experience of Time Fracture. Spoilers, I will put spoilers on the title, but that was my experience of Time Fracture. I loved it. I'm annoyed on what I missed out. This is just a big ramble, purely because I want to get videos out, and this video is going to come out, I think tomorrow morning. I'm going to try and do another video, and yeah, but I'm going to do my random review pretty soon. I'll try and get that done soon. I'm also going to do a video on the 9th Doctor era, because I've just finished a rewatch of series 1 with my girlfriend. She's just watched it for the first time. That was pretty cool. And yeah, so those will be the two next videos. Don't know what order they're going to come out in, but yeah, they will be out. And yeah, Time Fracture was amazing. I loved every minute of it. And yeah, I've been the Bored Whovian, and I'll see you around.